There will never be a merger. Merger is a term, it is a substantive term that the National Hockey League will never engage in a merger. A merger is where you take two bodies, put them together, and you create a new one. There will not be a new organization. There will always be an NHL as far as I'm concerned, and I think as far as the owners in the NHL are concerned. Will we expand? Will we expand to WHA cities? I don't think anybody can predict that. Right now there is an exploration.
You know, as a Canadian, the prospect excites me of Edmonton, Winnipeg, Quebec City coming into the NHL and perhaps having a Canadian division within the NHL.
No, I don't foresee a Canadian division.
Why not?
Because there's no interest in the NHL, including the Canadian teams, to have such a division. If our sport is going to grow, it has to grow as it has grown as a total North American sport. You're talking about a marketplace in the United States of 220 million people, in Canada of 23 million people. You know, one thing about expanding into Canada, you immediately have as an audience some of the most sophisticated hockey fans in the world. Tremendous loyalty to the game, and I think tremendous loyalty to the NHL. I think it would be, my personal opinion, I think it would be a mistake to just isolate that and say, here, now you have 5 or 6 teams that are just Canadian.
Do you think fighting is inevitable in hockey?
No, I don't think it's inevitable. I think you could eliminate fighting altogether if you wanted to make the penalty substantial enough.
Why haven't you done that?
Because I don't believe that that's a wise decision.
Why?
Right? Hockey is an extremely intense game, and it's a game of constant frustrations. You are frustrated. Part of your play is to frustrate the other player. When I say frustrate, he's trying to do something and you're to frustrate him. You frustrate his movement, take the puck, use your body, you hit him. I think we're two players, when they come together, and it's that moment in confrontation where they drop their gloves and they take a poke at each other. I consider that an acceptable form of violence for our sport. Beyond that, I don't agree. The brawling, that has no place.
How do you control that, though? And if you made tough rules, couldn't you control it?
Well, you could do any of that, but you can't. I mean, that rule would be ridiculous. In the game that we're playing, if you said you can't raise your stick above your shoulder height, what happens when the player's checked into the boards and he's going, and he's traveling 20
with intent to bodily
No, as soon as you get into intent, you're suddenly moving yourselves into the mind of that player. You're putting that judgment of a man's 30-year career into the hands of a person on the ice who's having to make a whole lot of judgments, where there's all kinds of action. Those kind of automatic penalties, just like automatic penalties in the law, may stop something, but they always end up tending to be unequal or unjust to a lot of people.